we're forced to not force isn't the wrong word. You're either going to do it or you don't. But you see it all the
Yeah.
time, like in Josh Hokett, and then Kobe Covington, and a lot of other guys. They make you. They don't make you, but they want these characters to sell the fights, to sell, you know, um, to sell the tickets, to make it exciting as a drama. So us as fighters, it's not just good enough to be a fighter anymore. You have to be an influencer as well. You got to have the following. And that's with Corey being in my corner. When he left the UFC, they wasn't gonna give him the title. They wasn't gonna give him the title shot. He didn't have a big enough following. But he completely went against the grain, and he's doing very, 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 very well for himself. And so, yeah, man, it's like that's just me. Like I
Hmm.
said, God, Jesus changed my life. Like he is literally why I am, what I am, the man I am, everything. So it's like it would be wrong for me not to, tell people about him. And
Right.
what more intimate way can you get with somebody, besides punching them in the face? I mean, we're bleeding all over each other, we're sweating all over each other. I mean, two half naked men in there, we're fighting, what I
Truth
mean?
is truth.
Can't get,
Yeah.
my best my best friend, one of my best friends, is like we were cool. We worked at a place together, but we really got locked in once like he became one of my main training partners. We started punching each other in the face. I'm like, man, you got left hook, you're all right. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Start punching me,
Yeah.
I punch you. It's like we're boys. I can respect it. So like we just really went in there and fought. So it's like there's never no ill will from me to any of my opponents. I always keep it sport and that's it. There's no trash talk about your family. There's no this, there's no that. It's just like me and Corey was talking and he's like, man, when I go in there, I just want to be better than you that night. I was like, that's it. That's all I want. It's like as far as sport goes, it's like I just want to be the better man that night and just to
Just
prove myself that I can
competition.
do something. That's it. That's all it is. It's just competition. And that's
Yeah.
where I leave it at. It's like even if you would beat me, hey man, you were just the better man tonight. I beat you. I was the better man tonight. That's it. There's no ill will. There's no, talking about your mama, your family, your marriage, your kids. No, man, that's not me. I have morals and values. And if you look at the sport nowadays, not a lot of people, a lot of people, especially the younger generation of MMA, they're they're around all these influencers. So they're just like bashing people, talking about their mom, like, their wives. They're just trying to get a rise out of people, trying to,
Yeah.
you know, and it's like, that's not me, man. So I'm a grown man. I'm old school with it. You know what I mean? I'm just about my action.
Hmm.
Say what you want to say. We got to fight, but that's it, man. That's how I get down with it.
How many fights have you had for the LFA?
That was my LFA debut.
Okay, I
So
didn't ask you that Friday. That's why I was asking.
yeah, it was pretty cool, man. I think that's the biggest venue. Um, the biggest promotion I fought for so far. APFC is right there. So I fought back to back two really big promotions um, coming up. And so, yeah, it was pretty cool, man. And I was just calm, cool, and collected in there, man. I felt good. I felt at home just being in that cage and fighting in March, That's why I just want to have an active year, just being comfortable in that cage. No matter the location, the cage is the cage, man. Some gonna be a little bit bigger, some gonna be a little bit smaller, but the cage is the cage, and being comfortable in there is ideal for me.
Now, after a fight, how long do you take as far as a break goes before you get back into training just to stay fresh before you get into a camp?
Before this year, man, it was like, you know, it was real lackadaisical. There was no time. It was like, oh, I feel like fighting or, got to spend time with the family. But me and my wife have, come to agreement. Like we really want to chase this thing. We want to hawk it down. So, um, I'll probably take a week or two. Like I said, like this week,
Hmm.
um, I'll just be with my wife and kids. 8 weeks. I got 5 kids, like I mentioned. So just being here with her, and she's a full, she's a full stay-at-home mom. So just she does a lot. She takes a lot off of me when we go into these camps. And so me going from March 29th to hopping right back into another camp immediately, and then probably in the next 2 weeks, depending on, guys talk to my coaches and management and stuff, but possibly hopping back right into another camp. That's a lot for her, and
Hmm.
that's a lot. It's just a lot for all of us, the early schedules, the working all day. And so I'm home maybe 2, 3 hours a day. And that's not when I'm sleeping. That's if, I get home, I get off work early enough, come home, shower, rest a little bit before training. But the most of the time I'm literally coming home, rinsing off, and then straight back out. So body's all day into the week. and then only day off of training is Sunday, and then we got church, and then it's just like I'm cooked, and then Monday do it all over again. So I'm looking to have a really big breakout year, and that's it, man. Just get my name out in the mix, get the eyes on me, you know, just get my name out there, get this ball rolling.
I know if you're talking about a camp like that in 8 weeks, that almost falls along the lines of a card that LFA has towards the end of August in Clarksville, Tennessee. And I may be coming down there, so
Yeah,
I don't know. That'd be kind of cool to see you fight there again.
I haven't. I don't mind fighting in there, but the card that we might be talking about, it might be actually August 30th in New Mexico for APFC. So
Ooh,
that's another one.
that'd be
Yeah.
nice.
So and it's this year. Yeah, it'd be pretty cool. Like I just want to get comfortable traveling too. I mean, being in the Midwest, being from Indiana, Kentucky was like, just like 2, 3 hours away from my hometown in Marion. So, and only an hour and a half from where I reside now in Indianapolis. So it wasn't nothing for my peoples to come. And, when I fought in Milwaukee for APFC, it was 4 hours, so a little bit longer drive, but still kind of Midwest. So it's not but I just want to get used to, you know, is being in enemy territory, being in those situations. Like I don't mind the booze. I actually encourage, doubt me. I've been doubted my whole life.
Hmm.
So just go out there, win, do what I gotta do, tell people about Jesus and just keep going one fight at a time.
Would you say that's one of your purposes is to talk about God as an MMA fighter? Because a lot of times people kind of
Oh,
shun away from it a little bit.
yeah, man. It's like I have no problem like in Jesus in specific, like a lot of people say God, and I was like, nah, man, that's that's who saved me. It was Jesus, man. I've experienced his presence, I've experienced the Holy Spirit. So um yeah, man, that's definitely one of my purposes. It's like I'm not just a fighter, it's like I'm a son first. God's like he changed my life, man. Like he
Hmm.
literally, like I
You
got
said
into
that.
it a
You
little
said
bit.
that. You said that Friday.
He literally changed my life, man. Like I was fighting. If I fought twice in a year, it looked like I'd fight in the beginning of the year, nothing in the middle, and fighting maybe once, twice a year. And I had, 12 amateur, MMA fights, and it's just, I was just undisciplined and
Hmm.
unactive, um, and even just from the fighting standpoint, like I said, I wouldn't be my wife now, when we was dating, just a part of my testimony is I messed around on her while we were dating, and I told her at the beginning that I wouldn't. And then Jesus came and I found him, and then I told her all my mistakes. I aired it all out. I was like, man, if she's gonna be my wife, if she's gonna be the one, then I got to tell her everything. And then so I did. And so the only reason I have a wife and my beautiful kids is because of Jesus, man. I'm blessed to have a family. I'm blessed to be, my brothers and my family all week. And after the fight, they've just been telling me how proud they're of me. And it's just been hitting home. And I was like, man, I'm so happy that I can be someone that they can be proud of, that my kids can look up to, that my family can look up to, that, a man that, my papa, he's one of the main father figures in my life that he can be proud of. Like, yeah.
Hmm.
So,
What would you say you would be doing if it wasn't for MMA? Would you say MMA also kind of maybe saved you too, in a sense?
oh yeah, like combat sports. Like I got into combat sports because I was getting bullied and picked. I was like cupcake soft, man. Like I'm talking about what you seen on Friday, man. I was like cupcake soft, man. I had no backbone, very timid. I had a mouthpiece on me, so I would just chirp a lot, and
Yeah.
but yeah, man, it definitely honed in some discipline for sure. It gave me discipline and told me not to judge a book by its cover. Like, hey, there's people out here bigger, smaller, slower, whatever, faster than you. There's always someone, who's more experienced, who's better, who knows more, who knows how to do stuff better. So it definitely humbled me in that sense. But I don't know, man. I like to think, I tell my wife all the time, like, hey, this doesn't work out. I know I can work. So I'd probably be working somewhere or who knows what God's plan is, man. I don't really know. I don't really know what I'd be doing, man. To be honest, there could be a plethora of things that I could be doing. I could be. a pastor. I don't know. I could have been just a straight blue collar guy. I could have just been, who knows? Who knows what
Yeah.
I'd be? I really don't. I really don't know. I wouldn't have an answer, but right now I just know I'm doing what I'm doing.
Part of me feels like every fighter, whether it be a man or woman, no matter organization, you have to be a man or woman of some form of faith. And the reason I say that is mainly because of how much patience it requires for a fighter in the game, not just counting the money, but also mainly because of the financial part too. You sacrifice a lot
Yeah,
before you
man.
get that financial gain. Talk us through from your perspective, like the sacrifices you as a fighter have to make as a team and as a family to be willing to be patient before it finally starts paying off, if that makes kind of sense.
Yeah, no, man. I mean, there's a lot of sacrifice. I mean, how many talks and it's just me and being vulnerable. Me and my wife, just sit here and talk about like this. It's hard, man. It's like I said, 5 kids. That's no easy task. Shoot, I know people with 2 kids or 1 kid. They're like, man, how do you do it with 5? And that's pretty much the biggest thing, man. Is that's a lot on her. 5 kids, and just by herself. So essentially, when I'm in these camps, she's almost a single mom. And it's like I grew up with a single mom who raised
Mm-hmm.
4 boys. 4 boys. So I know exactly what that's like, and that's pretty much my biggest sacrifice. I mean, yeah, time, money. It's like birthday parties are to be had. Dad's not there. You know, um, just days out with the family. Dad can't eat that extra money to make dad's meals. Dad's tired. Dad's not gonna watch a movie. Daddy's irritable. Daddy don't want no questions right now. Babe, daddy's tired. Daddy don't want to pick you up. So I try and
Yeah.
I beat myself up at night. It's a lot of mental sacrifice too, because I beat myself up because growing up without a dad, um, it's like, man, I don't want to be that guy that just like, pushes my kids to the side. And sometimes it's like that in all honesty. It's like I'm not proud of those days, and I try to wake up the next day, be better, hug on them a little bit more before I leave for the gym or leave for work, and love on them, make sure they know I love them, and hug on them. And for me, that's a lot of it. Especially coming from poverty. It's like I know what it's like down there. If I was by myself, I have no problem. Like I tell my wife and other people who ask, it's like I could sleep in my car. I could do that by myself. And as being transformed into the young man I am today,
Mm-hmm.
it's like you have to be selfless with it. It's like, dang, yeah, I can sleep in a car. I can thug it out. I can sleep on the gym floor. I can sleep on a friend's couch. But it's like as a man, it's like my wife and kids, they never had to go through that, nor should they ever
Mm-hmm.
have to. You know
Correct.
what I mean? So um it's a lot of that, man. It's a lot of, and we have to be a team because there's days where, I'm all amped up. I'm feeling good. I'm praying. God's just giving me a beautiful day. Training went well. I learned so much. But here she's had a hard day. So I've been high all day. I've been experiencing the Lord. I've been good, but she's had a hard day. And then
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it's vice versa. Sometimes work just beat me to the ground training, coach, Isaiah, come on, like, beat me to the ground. And I'm over here, having a frustrating practice, learning a new technique or whatever. And then the next thing you know, she's had a good day, and then she has to come. Then I come home, and then she has to deal with my attitude and how I am, and just vice versa. It's just a lot of that, man. You got to have a good woman. You got to have a team because honestly, I could muster the will and do it by myself, but really, I could not do it by myself. And one of the
Mm-hmm.
most vulnerable things that I've had to tell my wife is I've had to tell her that, kind of like put that ball in her court, like that power. And it's like, man, I couldn't do that without you because like I said, she takes a lot off my plate. She takes a lot off my plate, when it comes to taking care of the kids and, just being there for them. And, when, they're encouraging me, they want me, daddy, when you fighting, daddy, doing all this. And so, yeah,
All right, I got two more questions for you in this great conversation.
yes, sir.
What was it like fighting in LFA for the first time?
Man, it was amazing. Like literally, it was amazing. Just get on here and just be accountable because that's the type of man I've been taught to be. Is like I missed weight So I'm not proud of that. And I told my opponent that. I told my corners that they know how I feel. And my coaches, they did a good job of, about letting me enjoy the win. But, there's still gonna be conversations to be had, because as a professional, they have expectations for me, representing their gym, representing their brands as well as myself. So I just gotta take that
So
one on the
basically,
chin like a man.
so basically, what you're saying is that's kind of the reason why you say it's because it's in their eyes and mindset. It's like a reflection of them.
Exactly. I mean, that's how it
Okay.
is. I mean, you're a team, man. You are who you surround yourself. If my five best friends are five crackheads, I'm gonna be the sixth, But if my best
That's the
friends are
truth.
five world champions or five billionaires, and I surround myself around them, what am I gonna be? I'm gonna be the sixth. So um yeah, man, it's a reflection of me, but it's also a reflection of them. So it's like, you know, I just put it on there. I got to put it out there, like, oh, he didn't. When anybody gets to talking cash, like I'm not scared to, confront my shortcomings. I'm not scared to,
Mm-hmm.
admit when I'm wrong, when I've messed up. So there's that. But um, where was I at?
Talking about missing weight.
Yeah, I know I was talking about missing weight, but I forget where I was going with the LFA. But other than that, it was completely amazing, man. Like the experience, the eyes, I watched my fight back. There's a couple things I would like to see myself just because you're always your biggest critic, see myself
For
do
sure.
better.
Yeah.
But I liked how like, I had a UFC veteran and he'll be a Hall of Famer one day. Just Gilbert Burns, he said, I like it, Isaiah, a lot. Like, he was just talking about my composure and just I got his
That's
respect, and I got to
exactly how
talk
he
to
would
him
say it.
afterwards.
That's exactly how he would say it too. That's amazing. That's exactly
It
how he
was,
would say it.
I mean, just like, it was cool. It was cool to hear that. And, Corey and being a light heavyweight champion, he said the same thing. He said, way to stay composed, way to stay calm. My other corners, Caleb Cox and, one of my best friends and Jason, he was in my corner, they said the same thing, how I seen myself, just a few more minor tweaks. And, I see myself being a real problem in the welterweight division and shaking some things up. But, just for myself, there's a couple things I want to fix. But all in all, I'm happy with my performance. I gained a new friend, even though I fought Anthony McCormick, and I gained a lot of eyes on me and got a lot of traction, got a lot of DMs, got a lot of stuff going. So I'm just really grateful for the opportunity today. They sought me out and they gave me the opportunity to showcase my skills and be who I am and who I know I can be.
All right. Last question. How important, from your perspective, is it for an MMA fighter to trust themselves in the journey of being a mixed martial artist?
And that was the biggest thing I overcame this camp. It was really my mindset, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's like believing. And for me, like you're gonna hear me anytime you interview me, anytime you hear me talk, it's always gonna be spiritual for me. But really just believing like, I'm fearfully and wonderfully made, believing in what God's word says, like I am what he says about me. He made me this way, as fighters, getting in there in a fist fight, you can you can visualize like all the people, oh man, he's soft, oh he sucked. You can visualize all this negative stuff, but it's like all these other people who believe in me. If you don't believe in yourself, it's almost a slap in the face to them
Mm-hmm.
because it's like, man, they're putting time and energy into you, and bro, you don't even believe that you can do what they believe you can do. And so,
Mm-hmm.
like, literally, like through this camp, I was telling my wife, I was like, man, it was just almost disrespectful to everybody who's ever put a lick of anything into me that I didn't believe in myself like they did. You know what I mean? And now I'm getting to that point where it's like I'm really not smelling myself, but believing in, who God says I am and just finding that peace being rooted in him. And then that's where it all comes from for me. And man, I just got deeper rooted in him. And it's like, man, I'm gonna be fine, man. Regardless, win, lose, draw, bonus, no bonus, whatever comes of it, I'm gonna be fine. And I am who I am, and that's not gonna stop me. No loss is gonna stop me from having these conversations like this. No,
Mm-hmm.
no win, is gonna stop me from having conversations like this. No promotion is gonna stop me from being who I am, who I was created to be, to talk about what I need to talk about. So believing in yourself is huge. But I would just recommend believe in something greater than yourself. Get rooted in something greater. Jesus Christ, man. Jesus Christ, always.